The Bhagavad Gita, Gita Press, 38th reprint, 2007. Chapter 8. Arjuna said, Krishna, what is that Brahma, or Absolute? What is spirit, and what is karma? What is called matter, and what is termed as divine intelligence? Krishna, who is divine intelligence here, and how does he dwell in the body? And how are you to be realized at the time of death by those of steadfast mind? Sri Bhagavan said, the supreme indestructible is Brahma. One's own self, the individual soul, is called spirit, and the discharge of spirits, which brings forth the existence of beings, is called karma. All perishable objects are matter. The shining Purusha, or Brahma, is divine intelligence. And in this body, I myself, dwelling as the inner witness, am Adhyatma, O Arjuna. He who departs from the body, thinking of me alone, even at the time of death, attains my state. There is no doubt about it. Arjuna, thinking of whatever entity, one leaves the body. At the time of death, that and that alone one attains, being ever absorbed in its thought. Therefore, Arjuna, think of me at all times and fight. With mind and reason thus set on me, you will doubtless come to me. Arjuna, he who with his mind disciplined through yoga in the form of practice of meditation and thinking of nothing else is constantly engaged in contemplation of God, attains the supremely effulgent divine Purusha, or God. He who contemplates on the all-knowing, ageless being, the ruler of all, subtler than the subtle, the universal sustainer, possessing a form beyond human conception, effulgent like the sun, and far beyond the darkness of ignorance. Having, by the power of yoga, firmly held the life breath in the space between the two eyebrows, even at the time of death, and then contemplating on God with a steadfast mind, full of devotion, he reaches verily that supreme divine God. I shall tell you briefly about that supreme goal, or God, who is an embodiment of truth, knowledge, and bliss, which the knowers of the Veda term as the indestructible, which striving recluses, free from passion, merge into, and desiring which the celibates practice brahmacharya, having controlled all the senses and firmly holding the mind in the heart, and then drawing the life breath to the head, and thus remaining steadfast in yogic concentration on God. He who leaves the body and departs uttering the one indestructible Brahma, Om, and dwelling on me in my absolute aspect, reaches the supreme goal. Arjuna, whoever always and constantly thinks of me with undivided mind, To that yogi ever absorbed in me, I am easily obtainable. Great souls who have attained the highest perfection, having come to me, are no more subject to rebirth, which is the abode of sorrow and transient by nature. Arjuna, all the worlds from Brahmaloka, the heavenly realm of the creator Brahma, downwards are liable to birth and rebirth. But, O son of Kunti, on attaining me, there is no rebirth. For while I am beyond time, regions like Brahmaloka, being conditioned by time, are transitory. Those yogis who know from realization Brahma's day as covering 1,000 Mahayugas, and so his night as extending to another 1,000 Mahayugas, know the reality about time. All embodied beings emanate from the unmanifest, or Brahma's subtle body, at the coming of the cosmic day. At the cosmic nightfall, they merge into the same subtle body of Brahma, known as the unmanifest. Arjuna, this multitude of beings, being born again and again, is dissolved under compulsion of its nature at the coming of the cosmic night, and rises again at the commencement of the cosmic day. Far beyond even this unmanifest, there is yet another unmanifest existence, that supreme divine person who does not perish even though all beings perish. The same unmanifest, which has been spoken of as the indestructible, is also called the supreme goal. That again is my supreme abode, attaining which they return not to this mortal world. Arjuna, that eternal unmanifest, supreme Purusha in whom all beings reside, and by whom all this is pervaded, is obtainable only through exclusive devotion. Arjuna, I shall now tell you the path departing when yogis do not return, and also the path departing when they do return. Of the two paths, the one that in which are stationed all the self-effulgent fire god and the deities presiding over daylight, the bright fortnight, and the 6 months of the northward course of the sun, respectively. Proceeding along it after death, yogis who have known Brahma, being successively led by the above gods, finally reach Brahma. The other path is that wherein are stationed the gods presiding over smoke, the night, the dark fortnight, and the 6 months of this southward course of the sun. The yogi devoted to action with an interested motive, taking to this path after death, is led by the above gods one after another, and attaining the luster of the moon, and enjoying the fruit of his meritorious deeds in heaven, returns to this mortal world. For these two paths of the world, the bright and the dark, are considered to be eternal. Proceeding by one of them, one reaches the supreme state from which there is no return, and proceeding by the other, one returns to the mortal world, becomes subject to birth and death once more. Knowing thus the secret of these two paths, O son of Kunti, no yogi gets deluded. Therefore, Arjuna, at all times be steadfast in yoga in the form of equanimity. Strive constantly for my realization. The yogi, realizing this profound truth, doubtless transcends all the rewards enumerated for the study of the Vedas, as well as for the performance of sacrifices, austerities, and charities, and attains the supreme and primal state. Thus, in the Upanishad, sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 8th chapter, entitled The Yoga of the Indestructible Brahma. Up next, chapter 9, entitled The Yoga of Sovereign Science and the Sovereign Secret.